For decades, the children of American presidents have treated college as a highly scrutinized rite of passage. It is the moment where the first kid attempts to transition from the residence at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue to a normal undergraduate life. When Chelsea Clinton arrived at Stanford in the late 90s, she eventually settled into a functional routine, despite the initial media storm. The Bush twins and the Obama daughters followed a similar path. They lived in dorms and navigated student life alongside their peers. Historically, the success of this transition was measured by assimilation, the ability to eventually become just another student in the lecture hall. But when Barron Trump enrolled at NYU in 2024, the logistical baseline changed. At 6'7" with a globally recognized profile, he was an immediate outlier in the student body. His academic destination was the prestigious Stern School of Business, located right in the heart of a bustling open city campus. Rather than moving into a dorm, Barron commuted from his family's residence at Trump Tower, arriving in a convoy of blacked-out SUVs. NYU's campus is woven directly into the fabric of downtown Manhattan, a politically active environment where anonymity usually comes from blending into the urban density. Placing the son of Donald Trump and the federal security apparatus required to protect him into this specific setting didn't just make Barron a focal point. It changed the day-to-day atmosphere of the campus itself. Students soon described him as a ghost. Classes managed only fleeting glimpses of him moving between buildings, a phenomenon classmates dubbed the Sasquatch effect. His security detail attempted to blend in by wearing sneakers and hoodies, yet agents still had to escort him into campus bathrooms and stand guard. Normal freshman social life was largely out of reach. After being turned away from a bar, his time outside of class was mostly restricted to gaming within his family's residence. Even his business interests remained distant. He launched a real estate venture with high school friends based in Wyoming, a project that was dissolved shortly after his father's election victory. The Secret Service successfully managed his physical safety, but the logistical requirements of that protection largely isolated him from the collegiate social scene. In April 2025, these logistical tensions reached a head at Bobst Library, the central study hub of the university. A fleet of black SUVs parked outside the library to protect Barron as he attended his sessions. Because the Secret Service is part of the Department of Homeland Security, their vehicles bore DHS plates, a branding that became a campus flashpoint. Simultaneously, the Trump administration was conducting a high-profile crackdown on international student visas, overseen by other agencies within that same department. Seeing DHS vehicles outside the library triggered panic. Students and faculty, fearing immigration raids were in progress, locked themselves in their offices and rooms. It took hours for the university to clarify that the agents were there for Barron. The incident highlighted how difficult it was to maintain his security detail without inadvertently clashing with the campus's political environment. Following the library incident, Barron withdrew from the sprawling Manhattan campus ahead of his sophomore year. He opted for a move that kept him closer to his family's administration, relocating into the White House to live with his parents. He pivoted his studies to NYU's Washington, D.C. outpost, a much smaller facility that houses fewer than 100 students. This move replaced the open density of downtown New York with a controlled environment just blocks from the center of federal power. The transfer suggests that for Barron, the Manhattan experiment, trying to fit a high-profile federal security footprint into an open city university, met a practical limit. In an era of intense political polarization, the visibility of the Trump name made the goal of simple student assimilation much harder to achieve. Ultimately, Barron's move to D.C. marks a transition away from the traditional collegiate path. For this specific student, the guarded bubble of the White House became the most